The starving time. In the winter of 1609 through 1610, over three-quarters of English colonists in Jamestown died of starvation. Food was in such short supply that graves were robbed and corpses eaten. One colonist murdered his wife and feasted on her flesh. The arrival of George Percy and English settlers in Jamestown angered the local Powhatan tribe. They attacked the British multiple times in early 1607. Sickness and famine plagued the colony from the start. Half of the original 80 settlers were killed by summertime diseases. The rivers around Jamestown were sludge-like, making it hard to fish, and many settlers were too sick to farm. As a result, the natives controlled most of the food in the area. Chief Powhatan asked the Europeans not to build settlements, but they did anyways. Attempts to make peace and trade with the Indians only led to conflict. Many settlers died.
Sometimes entire parties of settlers were wiped out by the natives. The situation began to seem hopeless. In early 1609, the colony's president, John Smith, was injured in an accidental explosion. This left Jamestown with a new leader, George Percy. Conflict continued with the natives until it boiled over later that year with the First Anglo-Powhatan War. This led the Powhatan tribe to lay siege to the town of Jamestown. For 6 months, the natives prevented the colonists from leaving Jamestown. Slowly, the colonists began dying of starvation. The population began eating horses, dogs, and cats. In his journals, George Percy wrote, "Boots, shoes, and any other leather some could come by," indicating that the colonists resorting to eating their own shoes. Settlers began to break into food storages. They were summarily executed, and many in Jamestown met their fate this way.
The skull of a girl around age 14 was dug up from around the Jamestown colony as evidence of cannibalism. 4 blows to the head signal that someone was trying to split her skull and get to her brain. Examining further, researchers also discovered that she was already dead when the person began to try and eat her.
Survivors wrote that those left still alive after months looked like walking skeletons. Some colonists would even try to leave Jamestown only to be attacked and killed by the natives guarding the perimeter. It was not long before the settlers began to eat the bodies of those who died. There was even evidence of people murdering so they could feed themselves. In 1610, with hope extinguished, Jamestown was abandoned. The colonists boarded ships to return to England. As their ships prepared to clear the James River, a fleet appeared with new supplies. The departing settlers were forced to return back to the colony.